Welcome back, everybody. Things are busy and hopping here at Tammsalu Inn. Last time we visited the spot, our adventurers had uncovered some more parts of their mystery. They'd found clues as to why a potential once friendly house spirit may have decided to turn grumpy. Have searched some rooms, collected some potential clues, but before having an opportunity to get back together to share their knowledge, a fire has broken out on the ground floor in the main uh, dining room of Tammsalu Inn. And that's where we're going to pick up as shouts of fire ring from the ground floor up the stairs to where Tatiana is with one Samuel Campbell. But I also suspect it's loud enough it makes its way up the private stairs up to Trish, where they have just finished investigating Esther Tig's room. So Tatiana and Trish, what do you do?
I'm running for those stairs and I'm heading down.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Down the stairs.
Can I do a vigilance check or something to see if I notice Trish at the other stairs so I can make a commotion?
That's yeah. Let's see what's going on here. Well, let's take a look. Let's bring up our floor plan and let's see if that's something that we
Oh,
can
yeah.
make happen.
Does that make
Let's
sense with the
see.
layout?
Um, it can. It can in the following way, in the sense that I think that as you come down the stairs, a vigilance test might make sense because you would definitely be like, you know, you don't want to rush into a hazardous area before doing a full, like, how much fire, where is it? So you would do a visual scan of the room. And I think that at the bottom of the guest stairs, there's probably it's a pretty straight, it's a pretty straight shot going east on our map through the door to the area. Now, I mean, the question is Trish, are they doing anything to like come back down the stairs in a way that would be difficult for them to be detected, or is Trish just like flying down the stairs?
I'm flying down those stairs. There's a fire.
Okay,
I'm like grabbing the banister and like flipping around it and like sliding down,
sure, sure. So I think
90s
Tatiana,
style.
I think a vigilance test as you come down the stairs. Go ahead and make it anyway, but you're going to see Trish
Okay.
acrobatically flying out the stairs, the hall coming into the main room. Oh, I've
I
covered up
failed.
the thing with fantastic. No, it's okay. It makes sense because really as you come down the stairs, almost dead center in the dining hall is what appears to be the beginnings of some type of fire. It looks like maybe it doesn't look like it's just far too far away from the main hearth of the dining room for like sparks to come out or whatever. But it's definitely a fire. It appears to have started on that central table in the dining hall. It seems to be picking up a little bit of speed from the chairs. I mean, from the fuel of the chairs. And immediately, as fire called out, Samuel heroically making his way down the stairs into action immediately takes um, his jacket and takes off to go in and begin to beat down the flames.
I was going to
And
ask how big is the flame?
Tatiana is going to do something totally uncouth.
mm,
She's going to strip off her outer skirt and use it to start combating the flame.
ooh,
So
exciting.
she's just wearing her petticoat underneath.
Trish, the fire is like someone has successfully gotten a campfire started. It's it's there and it's a fire. It's going to get bigger. It looks like it has successfully ignited and is taking off, but it's not the classic. You walk into a space and the beams above you are burning and things, and there isn't a ton of smoke yet either. As fires go, you've come in at the. There are, as you come into the space, several of the guests who have like made their way to like the doors. They're not. They are having a flight moment. So Vilma has like picked up a number of things that look like her belongings. Maybe she was at a table and she's kind of making her way from it. The two kids are kind of screaming and running into the kitchen. You don't see Axel yet. You don't see who are my other named NPCs? What's Mom's name? I always forget Mom's name. I feel terrible about that. She's a lovely character, and I've been playing her a lot. Irma's the
Imre?
kid. Imre's the kid, and Rena. Rena is the mom. Rena is not in sight at the moment. The kids are like scrambling away from the fire. But yeah, so Tatiana, you are also producing a large piece of fabric to try to smother the fire.
I'm also hissing at the fire.
Hmm.
I kept them out of your room. What are you doing? And then reciting Russian proverbs about doing no harm to homes and things like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna look for anything I can use to smother the fire, and I'm guessing there probably isn't a lot. And if not, I'll try start moving flammable things away from the fire.
Sure.
Maybe open up a window or something to get the smoke out of the house.
Got it. Got it. You have flown by. You've flown by the kitchen. Several of the tables have large tablecloths on them.
Yeah,
If you wanted, fantastic, cool.
I want to I want to pull one out with like the dishes still on top of it, like one of those
Exactly.
parlor type tricks.
Under normal circumstances, I'd have you try an agility for that, but you're already gonna be rolling an agility for the fire.
Like Trish would know
But
how
if
to do
Trish
that kind
gets
of thing.
extra successes, Trish can voila the place settings on the table. All right, so Tatiana and Trish, we need agility tests as you work to smother the fire, prevent it from spreading, and not hurt yourselves.
Oh no! Oh yes. Okay, I got one.
I'm gonna
success.
push.
Well, hang on here a second. Before,
Okay.
well, I mean, you may if you want, but you do have another person who is working with you.
Okay.
And so that is going to be Samuel. And he's also working on. Okay, cool. So we have one success.
Oh, and I found the proverb. She hisses at the Tante, as long as the fish swims in the water, don't light up the grill. We're trying to make things right.
There you go. We're gonna put a pin in that because there's action happening right now. But you're saying that in Russian, I believe you said, and working on putting this out. So the one success in this first round is enough to begin to beat the fire back, but it has not dissipated. The fire is still there, but it's under control. So at this point in the program, Rena comes out and she has brought what appears to be like a bucket, and she's coming at this thing with a bucket, and Samuel is still beating at the fire and trying to smother it and says, I think we can get this. I think we can get this. Unless you're going to do something different, Trish and Tatiana, we need another round of agility tests.
Is there any water? Like, is there a pitcher of water or anything on one of the tables that I could use to douse the
I would
skirt
assume
with?
there'd be because we're in the kitchen, so there should be like a bucket or
You're in the
basin of
dining
water
room.
somewhere.
Dining
Oh,
room.
we're in
You're in the
dining
dining
room.
room. So
Okay.
yes, if you wanted to try to, I mean, it'll still be an agility test, I guess. But if you wanted to try to, honestly, there are probably only a few pitchers of like various different liquids or whatever that are floating around. Not a great amount of water's probably there. If you wanted to go to this, if you wanted to spend this round to go to the kitchen to try to procure a large chunk of water, you can, but you wouldn't be able to help
So
contain the fire in this round.
would I be able to gather pictures that are on the tables in the dining room and soak Trij's and Samuel's fabrics that they're using?
You could, sure.
So I'll do that.
Okay. So this round you're collecting water. Sam, Trij, and now Rena are working on the fire. So we're gonna do Trij, did you already roll
Yes.
for your second? Okay, cool. So Samuel is working on beating back the fire. No success there either. Uh-oh. Now, Rena has brought in this big bucket. She dumps this bucket out onto it, and it's all water. 2 successes. There you go. And as it's that weird moment, right, where, you know, Trij and Samuel are working on beating down this fire and smothering it and trying to, clear stuff away. And Tatiana's like, I need to put water on them to protect them. And you grab some waters, and as you turn around, you see just this giant bucket, this giant boosh water. The fire gets hit. Trij is hit. Samuel's hit, and you're like, I got water. Oh no! And so did Rena. And as quickly as our conflagration has begun, it has ended. The question now, of course, is who's going to help Rena mop up the place? No. She immediately just catches her breath and she's like, "Ugh, what happened? What's going on here? Where'd this fire come from?" And as, Samuel's kind of stepping back and catching his breath and everything, a very sheepish, nerve-wracked voice from the side by the front door of one Vilma Afzint says, I don't know what happened. Just, I was sitting at that table 1 minute, and the next minute at the other end of the table, a lamp just, I don't know where it came from, but a lamp just fell and broke, and that table just caught on fire. Nobody was there. I wasn't carrying anything. Nobody was carrying anything. It just came out of nowhere. And as she's explaining that, Samuel leans in close to you, Tatiana, and says, that's our target. Something's actively trying to kill the people here. It's nearby.
No, something's angry.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it's trying to kill somebody.
What do you see it as?
She's going to kind of give him like a little side eye and be like, I believe Trij has done the breaking and entering for us.
And he sort of kind of like does one more quick look around. All right. Take a look at what your friend has found. But this isn't some friendly spirit who's woken up on the wrong side of the bed.
She's going to do the tantalizing whisper in his ear and be like, you're not the only one who plays with revenants, my dear. And then she's going to walk over to Trij.
Yeah, I'm probably just attempting to help clean up as much as Trish would know how to clean anything up, which is not great.
So we have this scene where Tatiana goes back over to Trish. Trish is cleaning up. Samuel joins in. Things start to kind of calm down. Other people come in, begin to rearrange furniture, picking up glass, picking up the pieces of an oil lamp that, as Tatiana and Trish, as you look around the space, all the lamps that are supposed to be where they're supposed to be are supposed to be there.
This lamp was not.
This lamp is not from this space.
Yeah, so someone picked this thing up and moved it elsewhere. Like, it's not one of the.
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
Vilma still in the room?
She's kind of moving back away from the front door. She's coming back to one of the other tables and she's putting her things down on the table. Clearly, this has rattled her.
Vilma, do you know who placed this lamp on this table? Did you see anyone?
And Vilma says, I didn't see anything. I was actually just here working on some of the. I was just here looking over some of my notes and things I was going to share if I was ever going to be able to make it to the conclave and honestly kind of wondering what today's reading would have been, but I wasn't paying any attention to my surroundings. No, I honestly have no idea where this came from. It came out of nowhere.
Rena, do you know if this lamp was in the room the last time you entered?
Serena is busy coming back with a mop and is going to try to clean up and she says, we've got a dozen lamps that look like that. I'll have to look around to see where it came from, but honestly, most of the lamps are attached to the walls. There's no reason to take any around. We have plenty of light. And she kind of looks up and there are a couple of chandeliers. They're not oil lamps up there, various different types of candles and such. And it's all intact up there. And she says, I have no idea what happened, but and she kind of leans back over her shoulder at the two kids who are at the doorway, way back to the kitchen. She's like, if I find out who it was, and if they're small little people like you're going to be in a world of hurt. And the kids kind of disappear back around through the door back into the kitchen.
Tatiana's going to kind of turn to Trish and quietly, under her breath, ask, did you get a smack in the face when you entered her room? I tried peeking through the side, and he wasn't very pleased.
I didn't feel any presence, but I did announce myself before I entered, so I'm sure he was appeased with that. I did find some interesting information, though. I think we need to have a meeting with the other two about it.
No, but do you think he set this fire?
I don't know. This seems a little violent for him. I think he's a good guy.
And as you ponder this dilemma, as you mention the others, we join the other two already in progress. Outside the chapel.
We are dead.
You are dead. Almost. Let's find out.
Just corpses with flies.
Goodness. It's only been 2 minutes.
It's been a very busy 2 minutes for you two. You don't know it yet.
Fair.
The chapel with Esther Tig's grave out in front of it. The grave site that you found, the grave with the headstone that's immaculately clean and ornately decorated, like a lot of the things that you have seen attached to Esther or attached to this land. And as you start to get the sense that it's cold and heading back in, the cold picks up. There is a noticeable drop in temperature and a noticeable increase in the wind. And it's like, we've got to go in now, but it's incredibly overpowering. And the best preparations that you have done for protecting yourself from the outside are failing you rapidly. As you begin to march, it feels like a march. As you start to march your way back from the chapel to the house, I do need you to take, both of you, are force tests to try to resist what feels like a doubling down of the environment against you.
Question. Do I recall from the moor when I was at the camp and someone died? Is this reminiscent of that?
You mean when Wow, I don't remember his name. Oh
when he
no.
died.
He got drowned by
Yeah,
the
he was drowned by the myling.
myling. Did we have a that
Yeah,
was
no, it was like
that was a wet
piercingly
cold. That's a wet cold. This is a dry cold.
Okay,
I
was
don't
just
know if
wondering
that makes any
it's like
sense. It does
from-
not trip that sensation. But you know, it's kind of weird that you get this same it's not it's isn't it weird that you immediately think back to that moment when the weather made a strange turn, an aggressive turn, and it was linked to the myling, and here you're like you're at the chapel and you're seeing this grave, and now all of a sudden the winter has seemed to picked up. That seems a little weird, and in the back of your mind, that's a good thing that I think Edvard would have been like, okay, this is
it's like this seems connected. Okay. What was it? Physique?
This is a force test.
Force. Oh.
Oh my goodness. In a weird, strange twist of fate, it's Edvard, who is at the moment. We have to find out if you're going to stick with that roll or not.
Also, why is the soldier in the same kind of constitution as this frail professor?
He's more of a officer of like books and stuff. I know I didn't spec him
desk
properly.
jockey.
Okay, I put most of his points into money.
And
money and shooting.
You're a soldier
works.
from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, boot camp was like decades ago for this guy, okay?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. The
I definitely
officers' corps has some different.
I'm wanting to increase that. Okay. I'm gonna say battered, but I kind of want like before he feels that. I think narratively it would make sense for him to just kind of turn like he kind of feels the cold coming and speaks out in Russian. Who's there? And that's when it like batters him.
Edvard, you have a response. And the response is garbled. It's quiet, like a whisper. And the first set of words you know are being spoken to you, but you don't make them out. But as the sentence progresses, the volume picks up. Or does the noise of the storm get more quiet? And the first part you don't hear, but the last part you do. And you hear a pleasant, warm voice as you become more and more aware of what's being said to you. But all you hear at the end of the sentence is crossed into my realm.
Does Ernst hear any of this?
You hear wind and snow and the crunch of ice and snow under your feet as you are marching towards the building.
Okay.
Edvard, though, you see a figure. A tall figure. In an icy blue coat. Walking towards you. Hand out. And you suddenly feel warmer.
He takes out his piece of paper, or he holds the piece of paper that's by his heart to recover a condition. Is it only mental conditions or
It's this is your trinket, yes?
Yeah.
It's any two conditions.
Okay, cool. I feel like I'm gonna need these. So I'm gonna
You
Oh,
take out your piece of paper and you gain
I wasn't
comfort in
wounded.
it. You gain so much comfort that you feel lovely. You feel great. In fact, you feel weighed down by all these clothes. You don't need these clothes anymore. Why are you so bundled up?
Oh, no.
And as you
And I ponder that for a second. It's just like, you're the one who took her.
I take people to places of safety and warmth. I did not take her. If I did, she wouldn't have died.
So then what happened?
I don't know. How can I put it in a way you would understand? It didn't happen on my watch. But come, let me help you. And you, even though you're pondering this, you find yourself walking with this man in this icy blue coat. And you're very comfortable with him.
Do I see any of this happening?
This is a great opportunity for, I believe, a vigilance test. Yes, Ernst?
Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Great.
Oh, wow. Look at
You've never
that.
been more vigilant.
Ernst, at some point, you turn around because the soldier who's always been there, the person who's always looked over the group here, the person who has been, the person who's gone out on his own and come back, as you are approaching the stables, and you turn around and he's not there, and that's not right, and that's not okay, and you call out his name, you shout against the wind. You begin to retrace your steps and you get to the point where you see your footsteps and Edvard's footsteps. But Edvard's footsteps have taken a nearly 100-degree turn towards the lake, away from where you are. And in that moment, 3 successes. Without error, you begin not only tracking the steps, Edvard has walked an awfully long distance in what seems like a small period of time. You pick up his heavy winter jacket out of the snow.
Damn it.
And then you continue to walk some more. Edvard, you probably have a really cool hat, don't you? The winter hat. You pick up the hat out of the snow. And you pick up the pace, just locked in on something's not right, obviously. Maybe there is something that the Campbells were on to. Something's got Edvard, and you see him. You see him on his way towards the edge of the lake. But you only see him.
Yeah, I am going to be shouting for him. Edvard! Edvard!
Okay. For you, Edvard, what we're looking at is going to either be a vigilance test, or I think the other one is going to be, because vigilance is logic, but we can also empathy this out of it in the sense of like a what was it that I was going to throw in there?
Observation, manipulation.
I want to. So you're not manipulating. I think
Inspiration.
we're going to be looking at it's either inspiration. That's right. It's either inspiration or vigilance.
Let me just take a look here. Logic 3, empathy. Yeah, let's do inspiration. I am better at that.
Yeah. You become aware of 3 things pretty quickly. There's no man in an icy blue jacket. You are exceedingly cold. And the first, and your right foot has somehow managed to crack its way through the edge of the ice on the edge of the lake. But you
So I
are
guess-
now back and in full control.
Perfect. So I do have a question.
Yes.
Do I have my shirt still on?
Yes.
Or was it okay? So he recoils back and be like, blast!
Here, you're freezing. You're freezing. And I kind of forcefully put the jacket back on him, and
I'll be like,
I'm going to drag him back into the sauna.
no, I'm not even going to resist that. I'm just going to be like, yeah, let's go back into the sauna. Because I'm like, I got to make sure I don't have trench foot. I'm like, take off my soggy socks when we get in there.
So you make your way to the sauna. And no matter how hard you try, Edward, to work your way through your training to combat the cold and to fix yourself, you can't shake the memory that is it's not your memory, but you wish it was. It's a memory of you in your childhood, lying on warm pelts next to a roaring fire, cup of spiced tea, a warm bliss, and comfort. You swear you've never actually had this experience, but the memory is there in the background as you and Ernst make your way into the sauna, whose fire has gone out. But there's enough residual heat in the sauna that you are able to shelter yourself and warm yourself up, but it's a matter of time before the sauna loses its residual heat. An examination of the sauna reveals that there's unburned wood. The fire has gone out, but not burned out.
Okay. Before we go, I'll just try to start it up again.
Sure.
If possible.
If possible. There's fire and fuel and fire making materials in the sauna. Should be simple enough. I guess that's all. I mean, is it learning?
Yeah.
Learning sounds fun, right? Or you want to make it like an agility? I don't know. Is it agility or is it learning?
Let's do agility.
Sure. Ooh, the fire's not catching. Should be catching, but it's not catching.
Kind of like before.
Feels like before.
Okay. And he's doing it like, there's another Vaesen there.
Another one. What
No.
was it like?
Man, a great white coat.
Icy blue.
Icy blue coat.
Sorry, if I said something else, I didn't mean to.
Sorry.
Does this
Are the legends
description
of Jack
ring
Frost
any?
something that's around at this time? Or would that be like an exclusively English thing later on?
This is, I don't know about the Jack Frost history, but this is, I don't know.
The Russians
Father
have,
Winter?
Yeah, they have Father Winter or the Winter King.
So you have, I mean, yes, we have a slightly different variant. And I want to say one of your characters, when hearing this story, will be able to help piece some of those puzzles together. So like Father Winter would be the general catch-all.
If it is, I have a pretty good idea about something else. Kind of connected some things.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, did I get a good look at his face at all? Or
It's
Or
a
was it like obscure?
face that you looked at but don't remember the details. You would have looked it in the face. You look at all things in the face.
Yeah.
Polite that way and, commanding figure. But you think on the features. Old man, beard, white hair, and it gets pretty. But that voice, that rich, warm voice, enticing and persuasive, that you remember clearly. You would know that voice if you heard it again.
Yeah, I'll convey it. Does it sound remotely familiar to any of the NPCs we've encountered so far?
No. This
Like,
one
not
is
even, like-
entirely unique.
Okay.
Has to be. You have no idea why you took off all your clothes.
Yeah.
You genuinely don't have a conscious memory of doing that or walking that far. It's quite confusing
Right.
as you make your way back to the sauna.
Yeah. No, he is quite confused. And after we've warmed up at least a little bit and rained out any water that's in the shoes or socks, go back in.
You go back into an interesting scene. They've been busy in the dining hall. There is the smell of smoke in the air. There is a lot of water on the ground. I suspect that Tatiana and Samuel are wringing themselves out by the fire. But cleanup has pretty much completed itself when you come back into the space. And in the space, you see, let's see, folks in this space are going to be Vilma at a table. Samuel and Daniel are at another table talking. Samuel would have pulled himself away from Tatiana for this, as I suspect Tatiana is talking to Trish. Axel is kind of coming and going back and forth from the kitchen area back out in the front and checking in on people to make certain they're okay and promising that he'll get to the bottom of this and going back into the kitchen. So he's kind of, he's very hectically moving from space to space. I think he's also talking about checking the rest of the building to make certain that there aren't other fires that have just magically sprung up. And he's quite flustered with this as he's, looks like he's starting to feel the strain of whatever it is that he's, he can't get the fire started. He's got horses taking off on him. He's got a fire. This has been a very frustrating 48 hours to 72 hours for him. It's starting to show on Axel.
Yeah.
But you see Tatiana and Trej warming up by the hearth as you come into the dining hall.
I'm going by the fire.
Yeah, make a beeline to the fire and to them.
So is it just once they get to the fire, is it just us or is Samuel there?
At the fire, but Samuel and Daniel have moved off to another table, and it seems like they're having a powwow of their own.
Yeah, once they approach, I'm like, oh, good. You guys.
Tatiana is just looking at Samuel talking to Daniel with concern, but is staying with her group.
Focus, girl, come on.
No, I feel that one has a good heart. And anyways, what did you find?
Okay. So I made it to her room and I found her diary. She had a courtier her last few days, it seemed. Some sort of jealous lover, it seemed. I think he wanted to take her away and she wasn't willing to go. I think that might be a suspect for the murderer.
I'm gonna drop my voice very low.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely whispering this.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to hear.
Yeah.
Who was this?
She didn't give a name, just that someone had been courting her for a while. But she also said there was another that her heart belonged to.
So she had a lover and she had someone courting her.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it was a lover or not, but she definitely made it sound like her heart belonged to someone else.
Do we know who was courting her?
No, she didn't say anything. There wasn't a name in the journal. She just
No, there was a name. It was a name in the journal.
There was a name?
Yep.
Ilya, the
Oh
stagecoach driver.
no. Oh wait, you know what? It's written down, isn't it? It's in the book use or the little page.
Do you have the book still?
I don't. It's up in the room. I left it there because I told the Tante I wouldn't take anything. But mine is a steel trap, and it is. I don't know. I don't remember how to find stuff. I know it's up here.
Well, I'll have to send it back to you, most likely.
Okay.
So let me go ahead, and I know that other prying eyes took a look at the diary entry.
That's okay.
But,
oh, I don't remember it being in cursive. Oh God.
Oh,
well,
that's just
I
the
also
original.
gave you the page that I have access to, so I can do that if you want me to.
Weeks ago. Yeah, please give me that because this is
Curse
like
the
the
U.S.
tight
educational
cursive.
system.
Hey, I used to know how to read cursive. I just don't ever do it anymore. I learned cursive. I did. I know how to use cursive.
I will defend my occupation, Mr.
This is really
Skoglund.
fine cursive too.
We're
Alright,
going to retcon Ernst. He needed 4 successes and not 3 to find you.
That's fair.
You know, Ernst, that's literally a heroic vigilance test. At 3 successes, like the only time that anything has like 3 success requirement is literally like heroic. Keep that in mind at the end of our session.
That I shall.
Ilya?
Yes, Ilya, the stagecoach driver.
And Ernst's jaw drops. I've had this all wrong. The entire time I thought our Tammsa was targeting Axel. He's targeting Ilya.
Yeah.
But was Ilya in the room when the fire started?
You don't remember seeing Ilya.
Ilya wasn't here when the fire started, though.
I mean, he could have run off before anybody made it to the room. But what would he be doing in a dining room in the middle of the day? Eating lunch?
Why was a fire started if it wasn't our Nissa?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. You haven't seen Ilya in a while.
We need to find him. When Edward and I went out to the sauna, I felt the Nissa's sorrow, that mourning and inconsolable. We found Esther's grave, and it was maintained like the portraits, like the intricate braidwork. If we can bring Esther's killer to justice,
it would bring the Tante to peace.
we can give it exactly.
And what do we do with the Campbell brothers who are to determine there is something supernatural that must be murdered?
I think we need some kind of evidence to prove that it was Ilya too.
I believe I could sway Samuel, but with the brothers alone, I mean, they had almost broken through the wall to get into Esther's room.
Fortunately.
Deconstructed. They didn't break anything.
It only took a second to get through that lock. I don't know why they would have to go through a wall. That's a little excessive. I don't know what you see in these two.
Can I borrow your lockpicks? Perhaps if he's able to inspect the room and see the courtier piece,
Well,
you would suspect.
Make sure you go with him and
Yeah,
and
of
make
course.
sure he doesn't mess up anything because I believe that would really upset the Tante.
I will see if the Tante will let us have entrance before entering.
I think we are also dealing with a second entity.
There is more than just our Tante at play.
Oh,
When I
what do you
was
mean?
Out there, I heard a voice on the winds. beckoning me towards warmth and comfort, and then an old man, the great big blue jacket. He had a very convincing voice, and I did ask him, like, if he was the one responsible for her death, and he said no, she would be with him and not dead.
Did he have a big white beard?
I do remember white and hair and beard. I don't know much detail about his face.
That could be the
though.
winter. That could be the Winter King. He usually takes interest in maidens and will ferry them away.
I don't believe the
You
Winter
a
King is
maiden?
someone we want to cross.
No, and he made me, or I was tempted to go with him, and I lost my senses and took off my jacket and was walking towards the lake.
Oh,
In
That
fact,
does sound
That
like Father
sounds-
Winter.
that sounds like it might be a Nixie. Nixies will do similar things too, but usually the Fae don't lie, so
There's something that we're missing here.
there
There's
is something
definitely
Father-
here, I think.
piece
Would
we're
Father
missing.
Winter be behind the fires not starting and the infernal cold? Would he
Well,
have
his-
taken offense?
his presence make things cold. I know that, so I guess he could have been in the fire making it cold.
I do think that Nissa is part of the problem, yes, but I think another part of the problem is this other entity, which may or may not be Father Winter.
I mean, if he was trying to drown you, freezing and drowning, I mean, it just depends on which way you were going to go. We should test it out. Just go out there again and wait for him. We'll pull you back.
I think that we should find Ilya. And
Yes, I think
Question him.
honestly, at this point, if
Did the jacket
If
look
we
like
are-
Ilya's jacket except blue? Okay.
No, it's this icy blue is really the just really the strongest descriptor that you have. Didn't look or feel or sound like Ilya. It doesn't look like there's anything about
Yeah,
that person attached to this entity that you engaged.
but Ilya's suspicious at this point. We should go.
yeah, if
We
what
should
we
go find him.
suspect is true, I have half a mind to just leave him for whatever Vaesen is out there and let it work its business.
We should send the brothers out there. That will test the theory and get rid of them at the same time.
I almost imagine when you say those words, like you kind of look over to the
Yeah, I'm
table
like
where,
looking over my
and they're not
shoulder.
there.
Damn it.
Tatiana, I
was
suspect,
already out there.
Tatiana's the one who probably has kept a half eye on them. They have gotten up from the table and they have made their way towards the door into the kitchen area.
It's the kitchen where the back staircase is.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Trish, can I have your lockpicks? I think they're going up.
Okay.
I don't want them going in there alone.
Yeah, just make sure they don't anger the Tante.
Yeah. Could you cover our descent? And with that, she's going to whisk off into the kitchen.
I'm gonna look for Axel. Like, where's Axel?
The
since
last
he's
time
been
you saw
kind of-
Axel, he had done another sweep through this room and he says, I gotta check the building for fires. And he has gone off back through that same service door, probably to examine the kitchen, back storerooms, maybe go upstairs, doing a check of the building.
Right. Okay. Do we know where like Ilya was sleeping?
So, Ilya, that's a great question. I am not 100% certain, but we can definitely find out. So let's go to images and let's bring up the floor plan here really quick and see if I don't think he has a permanent room. He doesn't live here. And
Like
knowing
Mama
what
said.
you know now, it makes sense that he wouldn't have lived here. He has a route. So I'm going to guess if there was a room I haven't assigned to anybody yet, I think it might have been room 6. So maybe we'll just go ahead and throw him into room 6. So I think I had all y'all in rooms 3 and 4 and the Campbell brothers in room 7. And I think I put Vilma in either 1 or 2.
Okay. Would we, like the previous night, would we have seen a room that he had spent the night in?
I think over the course of pleasant conversations and walking upstairs and people coming and going with an inn that only has like 7 rooms, and you kind of know where 4 of them are.
Yeah.
It's not hard to figure out where everybody else is at. It's probably pretty easy to know that he's up in 6.
Okay. I will, let's check Ilya's room.
Agreed.
First, and if he's not there, let's check his stagecoach.
Okay, so Edward and Ernst definitely heading up the guest steps. Trish, are you joining them?
Yeah.
Cool. And Tatiana makes her way up the. There's nobody in the hall to stop you. You make your way to the stairs. They're going to take you back up to where Esther's room is.
Do I hear them as I'm running that way?
You do, but I think I'm going to go the other way first.
Okay,
For
fair.
reasons. We're going to follow our trio up the stairs to the guest hallway. And the stairs take you up to the top of the walkway around. There's the opening that you can see down into the dining hall.
As we're going up the stairs, I'm just going to be like, do you think she'll be okay with him? I don't know. I don't like that guy.
I
still don't
believe that Tatiana can take care of herself.
Yeah, and also
You're right.
he seems quite.
She's pretty hardy.
He seems quite the gentleman for being such an unusually attractive man.
I tell you what, it's the gentleman you got to look out for.
It's potentially true. As you pass by guest room 1, it becomes quite obvious. There's a fixture on the wall that's missing its lamp.
I go and check the door. Is it unlocked?
Guest room 1, the door is locked.
I knock on the door.
Who did I put in 1? I put Vilma in 1, didn't I? I really should have written this down. There's no
Sorry,
answer.
you're asking me to remember something that you said like 2 minutes ago?
I know. I'm trying to remember something.
Reasonable.
I'm trying to remember something I wrote down.
I believe you said Vilma in 1.
Yeah, so there's
in 3 and 4.
Yeah, no, I know that you all are in 3 and 4. I know that for sure. So yeah, there's no answer. There's no answer for room 1.
It's like,
which makes sense because Vilma's downstairs at a table.
All
right. Well, I would like to see if I can suss out if the lamp was moved by mundane or less mundane means.
Sweet. I'll give you again. I can give you vigilance, but you're tapping into your super secrets. So that's what is that investigation?
Investigation.
Yeah. So I can give you either one of those.
I'll do investigation
Sure
so I can tap into that 6th sense.
As you're running through the potential events in your mind, you realize that it was probably a mixture of both. What you know of Nissa, they're quite small creatures. However, they have fun, special magical properties and such. But they are not without limitations. And as you're piecing through what might have happened, you see what look like fresh, very small but fresh scrape marks on the handrail of the walkway, as if maybe something had to push something heavy across it before it fell down into the dining hall below.
Mm-hmm.
I point out the scrape marks to everyone else.
An old bugger.
Oh, that's interesting.
Alright.
Can I examine the area where the candle used to be?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Does it seem like maybe it was an
I'm going over to
accident? They were
Ilya's
trying
room.
to do something else, or
I mean, if you want to, sure. I'll give you the same choice: investigation or vigilance.
to which one of us?
To you, Trish.
To me. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm examining where the candle was, the candelabra or whatever it is,
Oil
and
lamp. Yep.
trying to figure out if this was like someone grabbed it and threw it down there on purpose, or if they were trying to do something to it to get maybe like a switch of some sort. I don't know. I know it's a little too D&D, but whatever. Okay, so what am I doing here?
Well, you've picked up Sixth Sense, so investigation would be really sneaky and cool. You've got, but you could also do a vigilance test where you could tap into your crystal ball.
Oh.
I think the crystal ball. I should really try to remember these things better. Your crystal
I'll
ball.
I'll do the Sixth Sense because I can't imagine.
It's the observation. It's the observation. So
I'll do it.
you've got lots of different ways to try to
Make an investigation.
figure
You
things
spend
out.
an extra success to learn if I make an extra. Okay, so let's do investigation. Oh my god, I really need to put some points into logic. I've got a 0 up here. Oh my god, why is it only 2? Shouldn't it be 3?
Do you have any conditions?
Yes, I have 2 conditions. Is that why?
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
good. That would do it. Yeah.
Dang. Well, I'm just a big old dummy. Here we go. Ah, heck. I don't notice anything. Oh, this wallpaper, guys, look at it.
Your conclusion lines up with Ernst's conclusion. That seems pretty likely. A little Nissa would have, as cool as they are, they're still the size of a lamp, and as awesome as it is, hoisting your own body weight around, it does take a little bit of effort. So,
Right.
You don't see anything to challenge Ernst's interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Ilya's room.
Mm-hmm.
Is it locked?
It would be locked, yes.
Okay. I knock. After I check.
No answer.
You gave Tatiana those lockpicks, right?
God damn it. I say in character.
Yeah.
Oh, can I try breaking the door down?
You may.
Please don't. Please don't.
I might be dumb, but I got muscle.
You may indeed attempt to shoulder tackle your way into the room with a force test.
Yeah, those two idiots breaking down a wall. Break down a door.
Attempt to lockpick it without lockpicks.
I think we should look for the man himself right now. If we do not find him, then we can reconvene with Tatiana and pick the lock subtly.
Lockpicks. I mean, she's probably gotten into that room by now. I'd probably just go get them real quick.
For right now, we should ask around. We should see if anyone has seen Ilya.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll track down the man rather than break into the room.
I just like breaking doors down so much, though. Fine.
I mean, that is, of course, the great nemesis for any adventuring party. I was here.
I don't have to worry about it being a mimic, so
I was here for
break it down.
I was here for Trish to just smash their way in. Like, let's go.
I'm here for it too. You can just lie and say we thought we smelled smoke in there.
We thought there was a fucking.
I mean, come on. If you think about it, you've got a manipulation. We haven't rolled manipulation yet at all. So we could have that moment where you were explaining to Axel that you thought you smelled smoke in another fire and see how.
And Ernst is arguing against it, but Jerry kind of wants it to happen.
Okay, I mean, Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, you don't want me to break the door down, and I rub against the door like as hard as I can with my back.
No, I think like after Ernst kind of goes through his thing, Edvard just kind of goes something like looks at Ernst a little bit and then goes back to Trish. Do it.
Yeah, I mean we're right here. Might as well.
Absolutely. Okay.
It's like do it. We can say there was a. We
Yeah,
can say
Sorry, doctor.
and I am kind of turning with a there, that's settled kind of look, and then see this happen and go, oh no, oh.
I know the doctor always knows best, but oh well.
I think the nice thing is I don't think you have any physical conditions, do you, Trish?
I am wounded.
Oh, you're wounded? Oh no!
I don't even remember what I did to get wounded.
I don't know either.
It was so long ago.
Lockpick. You were doing
Oh,
the
that's right.
Yeah.
You stabbed
was
yourself
trying
with a
to,
lockpick.
It was trying to relock the door.
What a stupid way to get wounded. Okay, well.
Trish
So
has found their way into what I call the Vaesen years, the Mutant Year Zero death spiral. You just slowly amass more and more conditions, and then the climax of the story will happen, and there's no saving that
Yeah.
character. That character
Yeah.
By
goes
the
from
end of the day, you're just a wounded, limping baby deer, frightened of the world, confused, lost, and alone. Okay, so agility?
it's a force test.
Wait. Oh, I got. God damn it! Why is my force? What? All my muscle. Why is it 0? It's a physique. It should be like. I don't remember how this works. Okay, that's fine. Oh.
So the number that's in
Fine.
next to force just means you haven't put any points into force, but it will still pull your physique.
Yeah, it'll still add your physique.
Can I? What's combat? Can I use my combat train talent?
Oh, I don't know what that is. Here, run
I
that
don't know
by me
either.
again.
Hold on. Let me
Uh,
look at this real quick.
Plus, it's plus 2 to close combat
to close combat.
and force when parrying.
So here's the thing, right? Force is what you do when you physically attack something without a weapon, right? You are not engaging in close combat with this door.
Yeah, and it's also for parrying.
And for
Yeah.
parrying, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. That's fair.
Nope, Trish is about to get in a knife fight with this door.
I
Pull
know.
out a bottle and I smash it
Didn't
against
you
the
all
railing. Let's go,
contemplate
door.
buying a crowbar?
Did we buy a crowbar? I don't have it.
I don't think you,
If we
even
got
if you
one, I
had it,
got
I
it.
think it's probably still back at the
Yeah, it's
stagecoach.
still with the stagecoach
yeah,
if we
didn't.
did.
I don't think we got it.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
probably lost in the snow with all our other worldly
Anyways.
possessions.
Edvard will be assisting.
Okay, cool.
Let's
So
do
we're
that.
gonna go at this thing together. I think
Yeah.
I like that. So that's just a regular physique, right?
That's a force. Yeah, so if you don't have any points in the force, then it's your physique.
This is a strong door.
I want this door to come down.
Yeah, Ernst is looking down the
Wait,
hall. to
Edward,
see
did
if
you also try to
anybody-
shoulder tackle it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't,
I was
Edward, I didn't
assisting.
even know. I didn't.
I was
thought this
assisting
was-
them.
Oh, you were assisting.
Yeah, And I'll
Okay.
take
Was I supposed to do anything
I
extra
will
for
take
that, or-
battered
Hang on here
to
a
get a
sec.
success to try to bust the
Kinda.
door open.
You kind of gunk up your shoulder a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right. Hang on here a
Interrupt.
second. Okay, wait a second. Uh-oh, rules. Oh, shoot. Are you just going at it yourself, or are you assisting? Because I think at this point...
Together we're like ramming it. You know,
Yeah,
like-
okay. So we've
bam.
got a success, and that's all that you need for this. You'll have to manage how you're going to talk your way out of this later, but for the moment, you have shoulder tackled your way into the room.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, look in.
Fantastic. This room has a bed and a
That's where it
small
all goes
nightstand
down.
table,
Mhm.
and then wardrobe, and a small window looking north towards the pond, the sauna, and a giant tree that overshadows it. But no Ilya. A bag that looks like it might be his bag with some clothes, but no Ilya.
Does it look like the bed's been slept in recently?
It's the bed has been made, but by a hotel industry professional. No,
There's like a mint on the pillow.
There's no mint on this pillow, right? That's the universal way
Okay,
of knowing if housekeeping has come and taken care of.
Yeah. Is there anything in the nightstand? He doesn't seem like a journaling type, but you never know. I don't want to judge a book by its cover.
Well,
bag.
Any blue
since we have
coats?
already crossed this Rubicon here, Ernst is going to go in and start rifling through Ilya's bag and looking for anything he can. If we're going to do this, we are going to make this count, damn it.
Fantastic.
Ernst is like, when in Rome.
Right.
All over the room.
So
didn't want to do this, but now we're going to commit.
We're
shoot! You
for a penny.
The door down, you rascally kids.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go. So let's try to figure out here what you learn, if anything. In this bag, Ernst, Edvard, Trish, this room looks like a hotel room. There's not a lot of other stuff that you're finding. But Ernst, you rifle through this bag, and the only thing that stands out to you is a silver hair comb, the type that you use to keep hair back. And this silver comb is beautiful, with a little bit of gold inlay and an intricate pattern, but not, I don't want you to confuse this with other intricate patterns that you have seen. This is made by human hands, but a trained smith. This is good quality work and expensive for somebody who makes a coachman's salary. This would be a significant purchase. And that is what you find.
This was hers.
So let's snap back to Tatiana.
I did want to do one thing.
Yes,
just
Edward,
to
go
help
ahead.
Cover our tracks. I'm gonna light the bed on fire.
Yeah, no, that.
Yeah, gives us a reason.
Fantastic. Tatiana.
Gives us a reason.
Hi, Tatiana.
Full support of this.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, our Nissa is going to be very happy with me asking to break into this room again.
You know, look. This is we're
Nissa,
on our
are you
way.
there? It's me, Tatiana.
Tatiana, you get to the stairs and you make your way up, I'm assuming. You're on your way to Esther's room.
I am on my way to wherever the brothers are, and I'm muttering under my breath to the Nissa, if they're listening. A bad peace is better than a good quarrel. Let me handle the brothers. They already want to murder you, and that is not what we want for you. We want to bring this house back under your control.
Roll a manipulation. All right.
Oh, yay. 1. Okay, good.
By the time you get to the stairs, you can hear the Campbells. They're not being subtle about it, and they don't have to be, because you also hear the voice of Axel Trigg.
Samuel, what are you doing up there?
So you make your way around to Esther's room?
I'm making my way as though I was following Samuel.
Sure. And Samuel comes to the threshold of Esther's room. And he says, "You were right. We were right too, but it seems that your friend was much more efficient about it. We never really took the time to try some of these more, what's the word I'm looking for, roguish ways, but maybe we should. But you were right. This was an important piece of the puzzle, getting into the room. Did your friend get into the room and look around?"
Where is Axel while he's saying this?
Well, Axel is kind of So Axel's not Axel's fully in the room. Daniel's fully in the room, and they seem to be talking to each other in a bit of a low voice. Samuel has come to the threshold of the room.
But how loudly is he saying, "Did your friend break in too?"
Conversational level.
So I can hear it.
She's going to put her hand on his shoulder. And discretion is also important when trying to do things in a sneaky fashion.
Oh, there's no point for discretion now. We're all on the same page, Tatiana. You've helped us with that, and I appreciate it greatly. We are all on the same page, and even Axel, as stubborn as he is, can you believe that for all this time he thought this was all just bad luck, that this was all just misfortune, that there wasn't other things at work? What a remarkable fellow, considering who his sister was and is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. She has died under mysterious circumstances. And now, and he kind of gestures back to the diary, which is now in the hands of Daniel Campbell. And now we know that someone may have very well been responsible for her death. Imagine proposing to somebody and then being rejected. And knowing that there's a competing interest out there.
That jilted lover is currently nowhere to be found.
We'll find him. But that's not enough.
You don't think bringing the murderer to justice would be enough?
There's no justice to handle all of the crime that's happening here. Some of the justice we'll have to take into our own hands.
These two.
Come, you can be very valuable for us. You can help us with this. Once we deal, and you're right, once we deal with this revenant, once we finally put her to peace.
Samuel, would you come with me for a moment? There's something I would tell you and you alone.
Of course. And I think when we take a look at let's see, where will he'll try to, he'll go for the storage room. He'll walk across the hall to open a door, see that it's a storage room, and kind of like
awkwardly close it, like, okay, I can't go in there.
Oh no, he's full on ready to go into the storage room.
Oh.
Tatiana just kind of holds up her room key.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of tilts her head at him, like,
that's a long ways around. We're gonna have to go down the stairs to the dining hall, back up the other stairs. I have to be here
my passion can wait to go all the way to the bedroom. There's a perfectly good closet right here, honey.
Can you pull up the map? What buildings are nearby, like outside the kitchen?
Here's your map again. You want the map. Sorry. I had the map earlier. But let's go ahead and you want the map of the surroundings.
Like, is the barn
I offer you a perfectly good storage room, and you want to go out to the barn. I mean, good gravy. Here we go. Here's your inn. Here's your inn and surroundings.
Oh fuck, the stables or the outhouse. What's the little square next to the stables?
For the chicken.
That's a chicken. That's a chicken coop.
You want to take him to the chicken coop?
Oh my god.
Look, she's going to be burying her big dark secret. She wants it to be somewhere besides a storage closet.
I mean, there's a perfectly good bed in the room you just broke into.
Yeah, go into Axel's room.
Go to Axel's room.
She's going to think for a moment and realize there's nowhere really better. Okay, and she will go into the storage closet and she will ask the Nissa, Pray, can you keep this conversation within these walls as you protected Esther's room? Just kind of pressing a hand to the wall. See if there's any response whatsoever.
There's no response as you touch the wall past some stacked bedding and stuff on the shelf. And you hear from behind you. I'm sorry, my dear, but we have to deal with the greater threat first of all. We'll deal with your Nissa soon enough. And Samuel closes the door with force. And you hear from the other side of the door, Axel! As
Wait,
Samuel
he-
calls out for Axel. He didn't go into the
locked
supply.
me in
He
this-
didn't go into the supply closet with you. You walked into the supply closet. You walk up to the wall.
God.
He
and
watched
he
it.
locked me.
He watched it happen. You have a. He's called for Axel. Axel, as you know, has the keys.
What a gentleman.
What do you do, Tatiana?
Betrayal.
Fatality.
You have a moment.
As
The door is closed. Samuel's called for Axel. You know that Axel has all the keys.
You still have lockpicks.
So you have a moment. The door has not sounded like it's been locked yet.
Give me a second. I wrote this shit down. Hold on. Um, Tatiana is going to wrench the door open and shout, "Every cricket must know its hearth. Nissa, deal with these," and run down the stairs. Or
Okay.
attempt to.
Very good. So this is going to be an opposed check.
Yep.
Because Samuel is holding the door shut on the other side.
Okay.
As you are.
Maybe I should have given you my pistol instead.
Yeah.
I mean, our butler was very convinced that wouldn't happen. So what am I rolling?
You
Force.
are going to be rolling. You can roll. Let's say if you're going to wrench the door, that would be force. Like you're just going to put your full might into it and pull on this handle because the door, according to the map anyway, the door swings into you. Unless you've got an idea that you want to run by me.
I want her to be calling on the Nissa to help her in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
To get her out and to get these fools contained. And knowing she has... The Nissa doesn't like her as much as it likes Trish and some of the others, but
Where's
she's
your dog?
trying.
Where's your dog?
Dog's been chilled out in front of the hearth. Unless Tatiana wants to bring Folk here with.
Here, boy.
Oh, now that's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Hold on. What would that be?
Well, so here's the thing, right? The dog does not necessarily as equipment. Let's go ahead and find. Remind me again. This is a hunting dog or a pet dog?
It's a pet dog.
Fantastic. Okay, so the pet dog doesn't have like stats per se. It's an equipment thing, right? So what we would have to do is say to ourselves, okay, what kind of okay, we do have okay, fantastic. No, I do have dog stats. Cool. So Man, the dog is set up as an animal to fight, not an animal for.
Bite him in the groin.
It's a big dog. And he is
No, I get it.
defending
I get
his
it.
owner.
I'm hoping.
She is
What I'm hoping to
defending
do
his-
is
her
find.
owner.
What I'm hoping to do is find okay, no, I know how to do this. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do a test on Folkir to find out if she hears you. So do you want to call the dog to you, or do you want to try to wrench? I mean, you're gonna call the dog. Dog's not gonna show up for this check. Are you still gonna wrench on the door? You're gonna try to fight Samuel for control of the door.
No, what I'm doing is I'm trying to psychically wrench the Nissa to realize that this is the opponent that we need to be facing right now.
Sure.
So she's not expecting the door to open. She's just trying to get a reaction out of the Nissa.
Okay, so we're not going for Folkir. You're still going to work on the door, but what you're really trying to do is
no. She says what she says.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. You hear heavy boot steps come over to the door. You hear the lock of the door click.
Mark my words. The murder of Lady Macbeth in St. Petersburg, 1755. You do not know what you are dealing with.
And through the door, you hear Daniel say, "We have brave work to do." And you hear the steps go down the stairs, and your call out to the Nissa goes, actually.
Yeah, because it seems like they're going to go dig up the grave.
Yeah. You hear a response back finally. How can I believe a friend of thieves who would steal my most precious possession? And that's all that you hear.
You must stop them. They're going to do something awful to her grave.
And it's the no response.
Now she's going to call for the dog, which is going to do her absolutely no good.
In the moment of crisis, right? We would have had to have done a check. Mm-hmm. You have enough time now to send out enough noise for Folkir to hear you. Mm-hmm. And while we're figuring out, you're going to figure out what Folkir is going to do. Let's snap back to Edward, Trish, and Ernst, who are setting fire to Ilya's bed.
Just a little bit, just to cover our tracks.
I had a plan, and then I ran a game with my players.
No, you had a plan, and you ran a game with Quinn.
No plan survives contact with the players.
Correct.
Yeah.
I found a button. I must press it.
That's right. I didn't even know it was a button. That's the best part, Quinn. I didn't know it was a button.
I mean, once you start breaking doors down, you might as well set stuff on fire.
Once you knock down a door, everything's a button.
Breaking, entering, rifling through
arsony,
personal effects.
Theft.
Arson's not that far along.
No, it's not.
Ernst is pocketing the silver comb while this is happening.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I'm just looking at Edward and going, how large do you want to let this get before you put it out?
Just a little bit.
I think it's burnt for quite a while. I mean, it definitely is making quite a stink.
Just until there's like enough to justify a smoke and us breaking a door down.
There's plenty of smoke. I should probably open up a window.
Yeah.
Not yet.
And then I pat it down. And I go out and shout out and be like, does anyone know where Ilya is? His bed was on fire.
Fire! Help!
It's put out now. Don't shout and disturb them.
Well, we need them to know that that the fire was here before we broke in. I'm going to break this door down and put whatever this mysterious fire is.
And I
The
make
delivery leaves something to be desired.
and I make noise with the door.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I have to roll a whole bunch of vigilance checks. Let's go. Okay. Oh, wow. Axel doesn't have vigilance. That's strange. So that just means that we're doing logic. Where's your logic? There's your logic.
Oh,
Jiminy Christmas. Hey.
we're framing this poor man.
Well,
We
So
don't
there's
know.
there's this moment where I imagine in the mind's eye there's a camera following a trio of boots trampling down the stairs, dramatic music playing as
Oh, I
they
need to have-
begin to talk about, and we'll need salt and we'll need shovels and spades. How much
Oh my
salt?
God.
We need all the salt that you have. And you get to the bottom of the stairs, and that's the point where the dividing wall between the guest rooms and the dining hall, that wall that separates where the guests are and where the people who live and work there are, and there's no more barrier to the sound of, there's a fire. I have to break down a door. And Daniel's like, he hears it, but he's got bigger fish to fry. Axel really hears it. And with that other success, his my business is in danger kicks in. And so Axel, we follow Axel leaving. We don't follow. Axel leaves the shot, heading through the door to the guest stairs. The camera stays on Daniel and Samuel, and they look at each other. And Daniel says to Samuel, we have a job to do. And so they walk off frame. So we go back to room 7, where the current shenanigans are still shenaniganing. I've just made it a verb, so come fight me. In a few moments, Axel will be there. You hear the trump, trump, trump of heavy footfall on the stairs coming up. And I think you might even hear Axel yelling, Where is this fire? Who's shouting fire? Do I need to get water?
No, we've put it
It's
out.
taken care of.
Is that you, Mr. Magnuson? Trump, 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 trump.
It is.
Yes,
And then-
yes, it's. Oh,
That was quite the fire. Good thing we broke down that door in time.
it was such fortunate timing.
Ah,
We were looking
guess-
for Ilya. We haven't seen him in a while.
that doesn't
And then-
surprise me. It seems like Ilya is at the heart of all sorts of matters around here.
It is. And he's
I
like,
was told that my sister simply died of what the doctors are called a stroke, or maybe she drowned. But now, like, I'm being told that it could very well be that he was responsible for her death and that she's coming back to exact her revenge. I think the Campbells call it a revenant, some type of avenging spirit. It would make sense that a fire was started in here.
Tatiana.
It's trying to take us off the scent. Oh my God, I've got to go.
Look,
What?
I'm pulling out the comb.
What?
This belonged to your sister, did it not?
And he picks up and he looks at it and he goes, I've never seen this comb before. In her possession when she was alive or after she died. And where did you find this?
Oh, we found it in here when we put out the fire.
This was in the room? What?
Yes.
Why we would have found it when we cleaned the room from the last guest. Is this not from the last guest?
Oh, this must have been something that Ilya brought in.
You did find it in his bag when you rifled through his bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving out the rifling through parts and
Okay,
just
good.
making it
Yeah,
as
I'm
if
wondering
It was
if
on the nightstand.
as if he had just left it out in plain
we can
sight.
figure this out later. I promise you. This was not Esther's. But I've got to go rejoin the Campbells. We have to put my
Look.
sister to rest. And he gives you back the comb and he turns to leave.
And I grab his shoulder.
And this is where I am going to look for my eloquence lessons in Russian to finally pay off. And I am not feeling as eloquent as Ernst is tonight, but I want to tell him something to the effect of following the Campbells isn't going to put her to rest. Bringing Ilya to justice is what will put her to rest.
All right. Okay. All right. Feels like this is our manipulation, yes?
Yep.
All right.
And I am going to be burning my advantage on this.
I love it. Fantastic.
So here we are.
Oh, look at that. That die was sitting right there on the edge. It was sitting with one success. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Let's see here. We're going to talk about what he's going to do to try fight you off, but I don't know if he's going to be able to or not. So he is going to, I should remember how you oppose manipulation, but I don't. So
yeah, now
we're going to go to the book because this is our first opposed manipulation. So this is kind of exciting.
And while you're looking that up, if I am to push it, would I need to push it before or after he rolls the opposition here?
You have to set the DC.
Okay.
So right
then
now
I'm going to get angry.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I want to make a point, Ernst. I don't know if you're remembering correctly. He was presenting.
He presented that to Esther
as an engagement.
As an engagement. Yep. No, I realized as soon as I started waving that around and talking about that, I'm like, oh no, that wasn't hers to begin with. That was the token of the spurned lover. Okay. So
it's observation. Observation. It makes sense because you're reading the room. I knew that. All right, Axel. Guess who doesn't have observation? So he's just going to roll straight empathy. Oh no. Oh no.
So you have he has 2.
He's got 2. And he stops. But they said that you have to put the revenant to rest. That's how you deal with it. I'm so confused.
No.
How do you
Wait.
know?
Tatiana is screaming, there is no revenant from the other side.
I'm a scholar of such things, and no. The dead rise in this way only to exact revenge upon the ones that killed them. We bring Ilya to justice, we end this.
And also,
I would like to not have to exhume my sisters.
Exactly. We don't desecrate her grave. We leave her in peaceful rest. All of this will be behind us.
But what?
So
you have to. I think I have to stop him. But you have to promise to tell me what's going on. I don't understand. But please,
we will explain everything.
And let's go to the chapel. That's where she's buried. And Edward, you were.
I was like, also, a revenant would not need, and I will point to where the lamp was, to drag it across the floor, and I will point towards the scratch marks across the floor to drop it on one of your patrons. A revenant would not want to do that.
He's overwhelmed by this, that even if he's not, even if I think he's not fully picking up what you and Ernst are putting down because he's so out of his element. But the weight of Ernst's has opened his mind up to receiving this information, and he nods and goes, well, yeah, they did talk about a revenant being an aggressive creature directly attacking. We've got to go stop them. I think I've made a mistake.
We'll
We-
go and fix it. We'll go and take care of it.
We're having a nice upstairs downstairs moment as you're starting to make your way back downstairs. We follow
I'll
back
also
to
be
a
like,
dog
I can say like
bounding
Yeah.
its way upstairs
Dog
to
goes
the door. And I don't know if Folkir goes to the door and starts scritching at the door or not, or if Folkir just sits down at the door waiting for instructions. But what is Folkir doing as we
Ernst
are?
will also ask where Tatiana is. Like
Who?
Tatiana,
our other companion,
our companion.
Oh, do
girl.
you ask?
the lady.
Yeah, I'm asking because I'm like,
Why would? Okay, so why would Edvard?
like, have you?
Have you seen?
She was with Samuel.
Oh, right.
Is she
Yeah.
is she still with
was
them?
with. It's like, was she with Samuel still?
She went up to follow Samuel, right?
Yeah. And you said you just spoke
Yeah.
to Samuel, so we assumed you saw our companion.
So our companion's with you, with them.
Cool. I know I'm going to do with this. Tatiana.
Yeah.
Message received, Edvard. Tatiana. Your
Yes.
bestest doggo is outside the door.
Yep.
What's happening?
Tatiana is livid with rage. And I want to know if it's possible that in her rage, she can use something she learned from one of her mom's friends.
Sure, go for it. What is it that you are tapping into? And it better not be learning how to like phase through solid matter. Cool, but
No,
probably
no.
not.
There's all of this fire going on. We're setting the place on fire. She tried enlisting the Nissa. I'm going to guess that as a precocious little child, in places she had no business being as a child, someone thought it would be fun to show her how to do a fire cantrip, knowing that she would never, ever actually be able to pull it off. And so she is going to focus all of her rage and frustration on this door and try to get it to probably just pop with probably just like one tiny bit of flame, but just some sort of reaction against this door that is holding her back.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to have to pull a Matt Mercer here really quick. And I need to go into our notes because you're asking me to go into that part of the universe, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. This is exciting.
She is calling on something that may get her some attention.
Yeah, may.
From different parties, but yeah.
All right.
I mean, is the door locked now? Did he lock it?
The door is locked.
Yeah.
And she's still got the lock picks.
Right?
Before he was like putting his
but her
body
boy
against the
toy
door.
was supposed to come in here and listen to her deep dark secret about why he was wrong, and instead he locked her in there.
This is
So
why
now she
Samuel
wants to
is gonna
set the
die a
building on
virgin.
fire.
And I mean,
A woman
as one
scorned.
does. As one does.
Yeah. We were assisting you in that unknowingly, but we assisted you.
Unknowingly, like she was against this until even the Nissa was like, "No, you're a dirty thief. Go away."
Must be the shoe.
Okay. Okay. So.
And it's entirely possible nothing happens because she was like 3 years old when she learned those cantrip.
Yeah. But I can understand that you have found this, like,
Incandescent rage.
you know, Samuel's done you wrong a little bit. And yeah, absolutely. Okay. So Here we go. You are going to roll for me.
Inspiration?
Nope. Not yet.
Agility? What would
Maybe.
that be? Huh.
I want to make certain that I've got the right. Oh man, you're gonna go for a flame cantrip, but I think you're gonna get. Oh yeah, no, we got this. Okay, now I know where to go. You were right when you went with inspiration. We're gonna go with inspiration on this. You're reaching back for a fire cantrip,
Oh god.
and you're gonna roll inspiration.
I'm sorry, everyone. I expected this to just be a massive failure that she would just freak out about. Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
That's a lot of dice.
If I push it, what do I need to do?
You're gonna hit the push button in the lower left-hand corner. You're gonna select your second mental condition.
Oh, she is pissed. She is so pissed.
Angry. Feel the rage. No! Oh, not pissed enough.
I already used my advantage, didn't I?
I don't remember what your advantage was. You had
Might have
done
been.
some preparation. I don't know if you did or not. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
She was preparing herbs, so it probably doesn't count.
She hasn't poisoned someone yet.
No, she
You
just give you guys nice tea, nice warming tea.
You dig back deep. You reach for that knowledge from long ago. You try to summon it, but alas, the door remains as solid and as much of a barrier now as it did just a few short seconds ago.
However, Tatiana is speaking a language that should not be spoken by living mortals and is cursing this door very fluently.
Got it.
This will probably come back to haunt her, but she is so pissed.
All right, Tatiana. We're going to give you one more shot here as you come down off your rage. You leave your crisis brain and kind of go back into your mammal brain. Is there something you'd like to do to try to extricate yourself from your situation? Uh-oh. I'm sorry, I don't hear you, Tatiana.
Even she calms down enough to think she has lockpicks, odds she's still too pissed and is just calling down horrors upon the Campbell brothers that she really should be thinking about. And that's odds. She is still calling for hell on earth.
And are you calling for hell on earth in your not to be spoken out loud language? Yeah. And a moment passes as you are swearing up a storm, and then you hear a key into a lock and a lock unclick, and a door opens, and there is Axel. Edvard and Trish and Ernst, did you join Axel coming back to rescue Tatiana from the closet after you had said, wait, Tatiana was with the Campbells. Where is she now?
Okay.
I will be going to the Campbells.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Trish would need to go to Tatiana, but like the Campbells is urgent. So
Yeah.
I think that if someone tried to go with Trish, they'd be like, I'll take care of Tatiana. Go take care of
All right.
the dead girl.
Ernst will be joining Edvard.
Okay, so Ernst and Edvard, you go on to intercept the Campbells, and that takes us to the moment where the door opens, and Tatiana, you're mid-swear, and the door opens, and Volkir comes in for some scritches, and there's Axel looking at you like,
I'm going
Are
to go
you
in there
okay?
and
And Trish?
I'm gonna grab her. I'm gonna be like, Tatiana, there you are. She likes to play hide and seek. It's like a little game with her. We found you. Come on, honey, let's go.
Trish would recognize one or two of these words and would know that Tatiana was usually sobbing when she even gave like even a bit
Aw.
of one of these words. So the fact that she is just spitting mad and is just stringing them together and is like, the world will end if I ever say this out loud.
Come on, sweetie. We'll figure out what happened to you. We'll take our bloody vengeance. Come on now.
Bloody vengeance.
Bloody vengeance.
Absolutely. Excellent.
She's going to look at Volkir and she's going to tell Volkir, the man I liked, go make sure he doesn't procreate. And then she's going to let Volkir go off and interpret that however she will.
I don't know if Volkir needs
The
much
line ends with
interpretation. I
him.
mean, I think Volkir's message received and understood loud and clear.
If there's one thing she's trained that dog to do.
Go for the family jewels.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See to what they have no as.
The scene, Edward and Ernst, as you make your way down the stairs, back outside towards the chapel, immediately that same cold just slams you. You don't know how long the residual body heat that you have. I suspect it is. I think what we kind of skip by is as people enter, they take things off, and then as they leave, they put things on. So the scene is Edward and Ernst hustling down the stairs, back into the room. I think Vilma is like, what's going on? Why is everybody running around? As you hurry by, putting back on clothes and hats and going back out, and immediately getting punched in the face by winter itself. Realizing, oh, that's right. It's really cold out.
Fucking cold outside.
And the journey out through the yard, around on your way to the chapel, and there's a moment where you're close enough to see the chapel and the grave site, and you stop for a moment because there's more going on here than maybe you anticipated. Samuel and Daniel, a bag, and shovels in hand, but also, let's see if we can get this right. Oh, yes. I think the shovels are on the ground and the bag is on the ground as well, because from out from underneath the jacket of Daniel is a pistol being produced, and Samuel is completing a cycle on a rifle, chambering around. And from the Campbells, you look forward to where they are looking. And on the headstone of Esther Tigg, it's a small humanoid, by your estimation, old, simply because of the face, the length of the beard, small person who fits every drawing and every description of Anissa. And the Nissa and the Campbells seem to be having, here's our image. Yeah, boy, there we go.
Is he missing a shoe?
No, he's not missing a shoe. I mean, he's not missing a shoe on his foot, Trish. Why would you ask that, I wonder?
Curious.
And he has the classic Santa style conical hat with a little fuzz ball at the tip and the pointed, elvish style ears, and he is very gray in skin and hair tone, and also to a certain extent jackets. And he is on Esther's headstone. And you can just hear over the wind that there is a tense, heated conversation. What would you like to do?
I am pulling my pistol and advancing and just wanting to just get hear better what's going on. And just be like, all right, let's calm down.
Ernst, do you advance with Edward?
I am advancing, and I did not get the calm down memo. And I am shouting at the top of my lungs, "You fools, all of you stop."
When Samuel and Daniel hear you, immediately Daniel turns on his heel and levels his pistol at you and shouts back, "Don't get in our way. We have work to do and a revenant to dispatch. This Nissa isn't the problem. He just needs to get out of the way. Help us convince him that his beloved, or whatever he calls it, isn't Esther anymore. You're the fools."
We have the entire situation wrong. We need to bring the carriage driver to justice.
Or we need to have a conversation with all of us. I turn to the Nissa. You were the one that pushed the lamp off the landing, correct? I'll say it in Russian.
Hang on here a second. A very specific page I need to bring up. You ask him about you've closed in the distance a little bit, I'm assuming. And so you call out to the Nissa, and in Russian, you accuse it of dropping the lamp. And I dropped the lamp? I didn't steal from you. The first thing that you do when you come to my home? I do not take lessons in morality from you. I've seen how your friends fraternized with these two imbeciles.
What has been stolen from you?
Why, the very thing that makes me what I am. Makes me what and where I am and what I do. What do you mean? What did we steal? You know you worked with the one who's so light and bubbly and walks barely treading the ground, brazenly walking into places where they don't belong and stealing things that aren't theirs. And Daniel and Samuel kind of are in a moment, right? Daniel's got the pistol kind of trained in your direction. Samuel's in the middle. They realize they're kind of flanked at the moment, but they take a brief moment. They kind of look at each other like, what is going on here?
And
I am sorry. I was unaware that they had taken anything. Was it in her? I'll point my not gun hand at the grave. Was it in her room?
No, it's in his room. And at this point in the program, Axel and Trish and Tatiana hurriedly also putting on their, and Folkir coming out. And Edward and Ernst, you follow the arm, and it's pointing at Axel. It was in his room. And then he looks and says, "It was taken by them." And this finger points right at Trish.
Do I see this?
Yeah, you too. You see it, but you don't hear it because you're like coming on the scene late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Trish, did you pocket anything?
oh, you mean this? And I pull out the shoe. Is this yours, mister? And I walk up to him like it's nothing. Here you go.
So here's the thing, right? There's quite a bit of distance as you're closing the ground, as you start to walk and say, have to get to a point where you get in range where you can hear Edward. First of all, it's really cold. Secondly, the wind is going. You get to where Edward is, like, oh, it's yours? Well, here you go. You start to walk towards the Nissa, but you see that Samuel and Daniel are there, and they're both armed. I'm curious if Edward would let Trish walk towards two people with weapons to go to the Nissa.
He will hold out his hand to...
Can I just go under? Like...
it's like... You see Edward has his gun drawn at the moment, and he is insistent.
Okay. I'll stop. Trish stops, and what's going on? And I kind of like look around, like, huh?
It's a very tense situation.
Oh. Well, hey, if you want this back, I'm sorry. I was gonna leave it in I can never remember her name.
Esther.
I was gonna leave it in Esther's room, but there was a fire, and I got distracted. I told you I wasn't gonna take anything. I didn't mean to take anything.
Speaking of
it was an accident.
Fire, I spend what is number of your lifetimes keeping this place together, and you willy-nilly try to burn down a room. At least when I set fire to it, it's because this place was under my watch. But you just set things on fire wherever you go, huh? Oh,
Hey.
You people don't respect the old ways and the old things.
That's understandable, and I deeply apologize for this. Can we all take this conversation to either the stables or the barn or the sauna, somewhere where we can talk out between all of us?
And
Preferably, and he looks at like the brothers, without the guns.
Samuel looks at Daniel, who looks back at Samuel. Then Daniel looks back at you. Samuel looks back at the Nissa. The Nissa looks at everyone else. The snow howling, the cold beginning to seep into everyone's clothes.
Oh.
Yes, Edward.
Also, and it's like, he will also make mention, it's like, because it was Father Winter that you guys had described to him, right? And he'll be like, before Father Winter gets the best of us.
And the Campbells look at each other and look back. And we move to the Nissa. I tried. But Father Winter can take you all. That is where we will come to a conclusion tonight. We will certainly have a resolution in 2 weeks' time.
Where we all die?
I'm so bummed because I wanted to make friends with him.
I know.
Don't steal stuff.
I took it out of the brother's room because I thought he took it from him, and I was gonna leave it in the sister's room, but there was a fire and I got distracted. That was my whole thing. I waited a week to do it, and
But in a way, you've learned something, right? You put your Vaesen understanding helmet on, and you've learned a thing about Nissa and birch bark shoes.
Well, like I felt like Trish knew that. That's why they took the shoe from the brother's room. I was gonna leave it in the sister's room. Like that was my whole plan, but there was like a fire, and it was like I have to go now. Like there's a fire. I'm gonna die. Everyone's gonna die if I don't leave this room right now.
Yep.
Ugh.
So it's kind of funny.
So much
it
drama.
is actually, I know, and it's all because of this Nissa.
I don't want to fight him. I want to be friends with him. He's a good.
You don't have to. We're at that really cool moment, right?
No.
We're at that really cool moment where we've got Lee Van Cleef, and we've got Eli Wallach, and we've got Clint Eastwood, And we got the music playing. Somebody's got the little watch, and that very cool tune is playing. I know I'm mixing my movies. I went from Good, Bad, Ugly to for a few dollars more. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, but we're at a good old standoff.
We're at a really good standoff. It's a great vision. It's a visual. It's a great visual. Everybody's in the snow. It's blowing. It's getting cold. Time is of the essence. And here's this grouchy house spirit who I think we all agree had a connection with Esther.
Yeah, and I really
he has a legitimate grievance against our group.
Yeah.
Which goes against an awful lot of what you've heard about Nyssa. That's weird. That's strange. Seems to be a big part of why things are happening the way that they are happening.
Yeah. He's probably been there for like thousands of years taking care of the property. Well, maybe not thousands, for hundreds of years taking care of the property. And then like she's the only one that's seen him, and he's like the only significant relationship he's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks, I promise, to wrap up the winter story from Vaesen and Free League's book, Seasons of Mystery, Winter's Tale. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.